Hello and thanks for staying on LN 24/7. This is Politics Now. My name is Morno Balagbobo. Quite a weekend, I must say, covering the Edo Governorship election. And if you've been following our Edo Decides 2024 program, you would notice that we've been tracking every information, every detail, every story, every angle right here on LN 24/7. So tonight it makes sense for us to review the Edo Governorship election. Here is a rundown of our talking points. First, we'll look at the allegations of results manipulation, and then focus on the overview of INEC's conduct of polls and its impact on subsequent elections. Joining us from Benin City in Edo State is Chris Ojekere, spokesperson Ugodalo. Chris Ojekere is a member of the PDP in Edo State and will be joining us via video call. Also, Ambassador Austin Osage, political analyst, UN Peace Ambassador and member of the APC, will be giving us a lot of perspectives tonight, so you don't want to miss out. We'll be right back after this quick timeout. To stay with us. Good to know you're still with us. Now, after months of campaigns and intrigues, voters in Edo State have casted their ballots in the governorship election. The election took place in 4,519 polling units across the 18 local government areas of Edo State on Saturday. Governorship candidates of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Asue Ugodalo, and the All Progressive Congress, APC candidate, Okpebelo, won their respective local government areas in the Edo State gubernatorial elections held on Saturday, while the candidate of the Labour Party, Olumide Akpata, did not win his local government area. Now, earlier on Sunday, the returning officer, Professor Farouk Adamukuta, declared the APC governorship candidate, Senator Monday Okpebelo, the winner of the contest, and returned him as governor-elect as he scored the total of 291,667 votes, while the PDP candidate scored 247,374 votes. The Labour Party candidate scored 22,763 votes. Professor Farouk Adamukuta, Vice Chancellor, Federal University of Technology, Minna, Niger State, made the announcement at the INEC Collection Center in Benin City, the state capital. Let's have a look at that vital moment.
That Akwebola Monday of APC, having satisfied the requirement of the law, is hereby declared the winner and is returned elected.
So now that the elections are over, allegations flying here and there. Of course, the APC is not crying foul because they won the election. So the PDP is still on the front, saying that this election is the worst in Nigeria's history, coming in from Governor Obaseki. Well, corroborating allegations of votes manipulation in a statement sent to LN 24/7, Yaga Africa stated INEC consistently applied its guidelines in managing the accreditation and voting process in a significant number of polling units despite isolated incidents of polls. They went on to say that the polling officials uploaded polling units results on the IREV in a timely manner, making it possible for citizens to access polling unit level results. However, the incidents of results manipulation and disruptions during ward and local government collation in Kuba, Oha, Etsako West, Ego, and Oredo local government areas, including intimidation of INEC officials, observers, and party agents, and the collation of results contrary to the provisions of the Electoral Act and INEC guidelines, severely undermine the credibility of the election results. So that means that the PDP were not just crying foul in vain, because we have an independent body that is actually corroborating with some of the thoughts shared by the PDP. Now, Yaga Africa also noted that in terms of turnout, voters did not meet the resilience test as voter turnout plummeted despite high PVC collection rates recorded post-election statement on the September 2024 Edo Governorship election for the governorship election. And in this election, they said that only 22.4% of the voters turned out to exercise their civic rights, lower than the 27% turnout observed in 2020. That is pretty interesting. Now, let's look at the concerns raised from the politicians. The candidate of the People's Democratic Party in Edo State, Asue Godalo, alleged irregularities in the exercise. Now, he claimed the PDP agents were not allowed into the collation center, a move he said spells bad for the country's democracy. Also, Governor of Adamawa State, Amadu Fintiri, stated on Sunday in a press briefing that PDP agents had been denied access to collation centers, raising concerns about the transparency of the process. But let's have a listen to what the candidate of the PDP said.
We actually are not quite sure what is happening. There was supposed to have been some collation in some of the local governments in Oredo and Ikpobaha. All of a sudden, some people came in, threw tear gas, and kind of drove everybody that was there outside the office. They've now insisted that all of those collations should come into the INEC headquarters. The problem was our agents then started telling us that they were not being allowed into INEC headquarters. So my deputy and I came in here to find out why they are not allowing our agents into collation centers. There are too many funny things going on all of a sudden, and there's
So let's move away from the PDP. Before the election results winner was announced, some members of the All Progressive Congress stormed the Independent National Electoral Commission's office on Sunday, faulting Governor Godwin Obaseki's appearance at the INEC office. Listen to what some of them had to say.
Obaseki cannot be inside, try to compromise the will of the people. I want you to go live. My name is Dennis Osagbonre Dausa. Yes. I'm a serving member of House of Representatives and the Deputy Governorship of All Progressive Congress. We are here because Obaseki is inside. Why will Obaseki be in the office of the INEC? Is he an INEC officer? To do what? We are here, we will refuse to go in. Obaseki is not greater than average Nigeria. We are asking Nigerian police to tell Obaseki to come out before we lose our sense of decency.
Now, in response to these allegations, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, says it will probe allegations of wrong figures imputed into polling units results sheets in Saturday's Edo State governorship election. But that did not stop INEC from announcing those results and declaring the winner. So how are things going to unfold? Well, joining us to discuss the aftermath of the Edo governorship election is Chris Ojekere, spokesperson for Ighodalo, and of course, joining us live from Edo State. Thank you, Honorable, for being with us tonight.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me here.
So what are your thoughts on the polls before, during, and after?
I think we should start from the pre-election preparation, when the police promised to bring in about 35,000 personnel to join with the 8,000 security personnel we have on ground here, drawn from different security forces. And they didn't also tell us that we were going to bring in so many numbers of military personnel. So that the first impression you get as you are entering Edo State on Saturday, it actually started on Friday, but Saturday properly, is that you are walking into a war zone where you find such a huge, number of security personnel, which we thought, was very unnecessary if they were just going to allow the election to run free and fair. You recall that there been so much intimidation of PDP members before the election. Even at that, we didn't think that we needed that huge number of personnel to take care of it, because those who were perpetrating those intimidation were when their faces had been published even in national newspapers and so on and so forth. So you get that impression first. It has a side advantage anyway, because it prevented, the physical and violent, situation would have had. But we weren't worried about the physical and violent situation because those civilians were ready to resist them. It was the institutional rigging and the institutional infraction that we were worried about. And as we saw, that happened. Now, in the various polling units, there was massive turnout. And of course, according to INEC rule, when you finish collating results in the various polling units, you paste the results in the units, and then you go to the World Collation Center from there to the Nigeria Collation Center for the state. Up until the state collation center, PDP were rejoicing everywhere. I'm happy we still have our results intact with us. Because almost every polling unit, for instance, a place they call Oredo, center of Edo State, you might say, because it's center of Edo South, where you have the city, the state capital, and a few other places. You have 12 wards. It's on record, on everybody's paper, that PDP won in 11 of the wards. APC won in only one ward, and that's Ward 10. But the results that you have now, APC won that local government area, and that's where you have the largest concentration of, Edo citizens who have voted. The results you have right now, APC won that particular, ward, local government area of Red. So you have several other infractions like that, institutionally done. Now, when we notice all of this, we raised the alarm, and the governor himself, in fact, the governor spent about 2 days with INEC in the INEC office. And on one of the occasions when the governor went, it was around 2 a.m. in the night. People were doing their normal collation in the various collation centers, which was the INEC guideline. And what is known to law is that when you finish from World Collation Center, you move to AGA Collation Center. The INEC headquarters sent message to them, and these were from prime AGAs, which are the 3 AGAs that make up what you call Edo South, which is the metropolis of Edo State, Obaha, Ego, and Red. They now sent to them to come, because it was getting late, to come to INEC headquarters to finish their collation, which was against the law. But the law says that you do collation in the place you had submitted to INEC as the registered place of collation. When they got to INEC headquarters, the results were taken from them, and then the agents were asked to stay outside. If you have the video of our DG, see they're saying that right now, even the REC, the Resident Electoral Commissioner himself, is collating results. Results are supposed to be collected by INEC officials who are junior and who are presiding officers and SPOs. The REC himself was collating. So he raised the alarm that it was Friday night, a Saturday night. And that's how the information got to the government.
All right, Chris, for you, this is a validation of concerns raised about the INEC REC's ties to Wike, because this was something that your party actually made reference to. And now, for you, it seems to have come to play, right?
They had set a trap for us by sending Wike's cousin. They expected us to degenerate into violence or whatever it was. But we were smarter and wiser and peace-loving, and we used all legal and legitimate means to make that clear to everybody that there is no way, morally speaking, you can't even have a relation of somebody who is an interested party in an election participate as an umpire. We had told the world, and we had written petitions and so on and so forth. And the reply we got from Wike, his cousin, was to boast that it was his cousin and nobody could debate him. We have not gone about it. So we are seeing the result now. That is the Nigeria APC is degenerating us to, where impunity and all sort of executive recklessness, is now being touted to become the norm. The man was there and did exactly the script he was doing. Police officers also were in full collusion. In fact, you should see what was happening at the INEC headquarters. The APC talks. And when I mean talks, they are known talks. These are people who have made billions as talks. They are talks in Benin. They are known as talks. APC talks would pass through a barricade of hundreds of policemen into INEC office any time of the day he wanted and came out. And even INEC officials who they thought had no business inside when they were doing whatever they were kept from entry. I, who had a pass to enter, was kept from entry. Several people were kept from entry, but the thought should come. So, in fact, some of them were even escorted by the police to the gate, and they will pass inside and come out. They were behaving so unruly. The REC, several attentions were called to the REC, too much so that the headquarters of INEC had to make a statement that they have heard that some figures have been imputed wrongly into and to be investigated. Now, while they were doing their investigation, the REC continued to do what he was doing. So we had raised all these alarms. We knew, there's a video viral, it was shown on Arise TV this morning, where the president had promised them verbally that he was going to give Edo State back to them. And he said, I'm the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Now, regarding the video of the president say he will deliver Edo State to APC, is that not the politician in the president speaking?
I just watched the video on Arise. I said, I am the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That's the video. I am the president. He was speaking to APC. We had that video since. We know it. He was speaking to APC officials. Yes, APC officials. He said, I am the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I will give Edo State back to you. You can just download the clip right now in Arise and watch it. I just watched it this morning, not quite an eye. So he had promised them that he was going to give Edo State back to them. And you could not foretell an election result, even though you were president. You do not have the prognostical powers to foretell an election result. What does that mean? If you say, I will give Edo State back to you, it's a promise, and he has made the promise, he has delivered on the promise. Now, the point now is this. If we set up this kind of culture, this kind of norm of democratic impunity, where we think that we have powers, either executive powers or whatever powers, and we use our powers to compromise all the processes, there are so many irregularities. For instance, I give you in Kobalka local government area, you had one unit recording 152 registered accredited voters for the election. But when they brought out the result, APC had 2,100 accredited voters, and then PDP was given 57. And all of that within the space of 2 hours. Anybody familiar with what goes on in those that are using the machine, the CVRO machine? I could have, even if it's just the 2,100 that I could have recorded that within the space of 2 hours. And there were about 50 units where such things happened. All of this were pointed out to the REC. It didn't stop him from going to the final position and announcing the false result. Now, the results why the election was being uploaded to IREC. All of a sudden, after they have realized that the results that were all coming in were in favor of, they stopped doing that, which is one of the reasons government called them then. I said, what is going on? Why have you people stopped uploading the result? And then they now said, after some pressure, I said, they will do it this morning.
So, Chris, what is your response to counter allegations raised by the APC on Sunday? But now they are the winners of the election. They're no longer shouting. But what are your thoughts about Governor Baseki's presence at the INEC office? Was that desperation at play? Was that a show of the fact that the PDP had lost this election?
The important is the results that were uploaded into the IREC, which were about 8 local government areas before the stops, who was leading with several tens of thousands of votes. The results that we have from the polling units and from the collation centers in the hands of Edo, was it the governor that went around the polling units? They were committing infractions, just as I have told you, and nobody could access inside because, we didn't have immunity. They had set up a garrison of military and police people. You should have come to Edo to see what was going on. So the only person that could enter because of his immunity was the governor to stop them from doing what they were doing. The results they were bringing in from the units and the wards and the AGAs were the largest number of results you could ever have had in the history of Edo's voting. So between the last time we voted for House of Assembly and now, we have sometimes in some local government areas like Akoko Edo, over 20,000 more voters. So the governor wanted to prevent them from entering in those fictitious results. That's why he entered. They are the REC. The REC is Wike's cousin. The commissioner of police here is Wike's boy. The IG owns the police. The military is owned by the federal government. So how could one governor, a civilian, go in there and they say he's offering a bribe? Why did they not expose him immediately when he was offering bribe? Why did they not order him out? So what he went there to do was to insist that he was not going to sit here and allow you upload those fake results. You are not going to collect results in the state collation center. And that forced them. If the governor was bribing them, why did they now ask 3 local government areas, which is the Kobaka, Redo, as I said just now, to go back to the collation centers? That was Sunday, yesterday. That was why the result delayed till evening. To go back to the collation centers and go and rectify it. And I can personally tell you that I went to 2 of the collation centers in 2 different local government areas, and I didn't see them. When they were supposed to have gone back to rectify it, I went to Western Boys High School, which is at Ikoba Hill, very close to Inner State Office. I went to Rokota Hall, which is the Oredo Collation Center. I sat and was discussing with the chairman of Oredo Local Government Area, Tom. Till now, we didn't know, and we never saw that they came to any collation center to do any collation. While I was still going up and down, I heard that they announced results. So the results were written, the results were already planned, while we were just dancing on top of the water, thinking that we're into democracy and into electionary processes. And then they had access in and out. As I told you, I said, if thugs, known thugs, could pass police in and out of INEC, that of an executive governor who has the statutory authority to be able to enter them, who was democratically elected governor, they're complaining about that. I'm saying known thugs were passing us through the police barricade that we were prevented from, and they will enter inside. So what they have done, those who are in Edo, come to Edo now, we are mourning. The streets of Edo, what you have over it is the kind of thing you have over a funeral procession. The streets of Edo are mourning. People are mourning in their houses. Nobody can rejoice because there was no victory. What you have was declaration of a result of that victory. The people, the victories with the people, and the people have not given their victory to the APC. Edo people did not vote for APC. What you have there is a travesty of democracy. And ask anybody who you know in Edo, that is the uniform testimony.
Now, Chris, CSOs recall also reported votes buying, which was not really pinned on any political party. Do you think the vote buying, played a role in changing the odds of your party in winning this election?
One factor that heavily characterized the election here was vote buying. But you would always accuse me, let me know the word accuse. You will always be inclined to think that if I give an opinion, I'm likely to be biased. And I mean, it's just natural to expect that. You can only participate in your unit at a time. I can assure you that I was looking at the APC chieftain. In fact, it was his activity that made me call, because I don't live where I vote. I live in Benin City, the state capital, but I am a registered voter in my own ward, my government. So every time it's election time, I go out of Benin. I had to come back to Benin at 3 a.m., midnight of Saturday, early hours of Sunday. So in my unit, you have 2 units where I saw the activity of this man moving up, and I want people finish voting. He will escort them. The first time I saw him escort 1 or 2, I said, okay, local communities, they always know each other. But I now realized that every once in a while, he will escort. So I called them and said, who is this man? Is it that he knows everybody in the community? Why is he always escorting? He now told me he was the one that had the money. Had the money for whom? So, like a gentleman, I called him aside when he was coming. I said, you are gray-haired, gray-bearded. I mean, you shouldn't be doing, of course, would he admit? He denied flatly, and in fact, acted like he wanted to get angry with me. So, I mean, I wasn't, the policemen they brought there were only concerned with whether APC have settled them or PDP has settled them. So I went to the women, it was useless. Then another factor, there was internal betrayal, in some places. of party officials, party members betraying their own political party. And it also happened on both sides, but more, of course, on the side of the PDP. So these are all the factors that affected it. So there was vote buying, and I heard that in some places there was as much as 20, 30,000 naira. But the truth of the matter is that if you go to all the camp of APC agents and people who work in the camp, everybody's angry with the party. And what is the anger? That PDP refused to spend money, and that is why APC even had some votes at all.
So in other words, you're putting the blame on the electorates.
I'm putting the blame on part of the electorates cannot be exonerated. If they will go and take money and go and vote a man that they know is perpetually unelected. I'm saying that there was financial inducement. There was. And I'm also saying that the PDP members are complaining bitterly that PDP did not spend money, and that is why the APC had some votes at all. I'm not talking of the ones they added. There are several factors that affect the election. They said because PDP spent so much, because they were not going to get up to 50,000 votes across the state. So,
would you say Obaseki's inability to hold firm PDP structure in Edo State was one of the reasons that led to the outcome of this election? You look at Schweibu, you look at Igbinidion's daughter, and the rest of some of your members that defected to the APC.
Who is a political liability? I mean, when Philip Shaibu was a governor, a deputy governor, sitting on the throne as deputy governor, he lost his ward, lost his local government, lost his unit. Is it now that he's outside? When he was there, we lost his ward by about over 9,000 votes. And we lost the local government area with over 22,000 votes. So those are not the factors. The factors is that they had the federal mind behind them, brought in the police. It's not as if every plan they had, we didn't know. It's how to prevent it. Who do you go to prevent it? You still go to the law enforcement agent. And the law enforcement agent will tell you, okay, he will go there and do. And he goes there and he gives them a more clever way to do it. When they saw that we had raised so much alarm, they started writing letters, holding press conferences, said no election will be peaceful and all of that. It's not as if we were fooled. They just wanted to do that and put it out before the world that they were not still going to carry out the activity. Because where we got the information of the activity they were going to carry out, we are too deep. We are too deep. So we knew what they were going to do long months before they did it. I mean, from sources they can never dream, where we got the information. So we knew what they were going to do. We raised the alarm, we wrote petitions, but the president had already promised them that he was going to give them. So they had full cover. Why you cannot, I mean, when you have about 30 policemen standing on your way to enter into a room, the only way you can do that is to create bloodshed. And why would you want to create bloodshed? So we use just what we can do, and that's why it was only the governor.
But Chris, when your party makes statements like this, election is a do-or-die affair. Should government not protect its citizens by deploying enough security forces?
Government have not worked half as hard as our candidate worked. Because, I mean, Arise was begging him to come, Channels was begging him to come. He was even so arrogant that he told them to pay him $1 million in Arise before he would go there to speak to them. So, I mean, the impunity was just so much. They were rubbing it on our faces. But we were determined as people to use our ballots to speak. And we did. They thought that we outnumbered them by 10 to 1. That's the proportion. In several units, especially key units and key wards and key local government areas. Now, what they now had to do was to use the institution of INEC. INEC was full head and feet involved with them in all of this. Full head and feet involved with them in all of this. So they were manipulating results, changing figures. I hope my party will go to court because we have too much evidence. Now, look at the IRF. The results you have in the IRF right now, if they have completely deleted it, and go and see the marking with which we are leading. So what happened? Suddenly, it's the same Edo State and the same Edo. They stopped uploading to IRF because it was now time to do paperwork. And so they started doing their paperwork. And after, why would a state result, election, that took, almost every polling unit. By 3-4, election have stopped, and that was the very few cases that you still had some that extended to 3-4. By 2:30, which is the statutory time, almost in every other local government, apart from this major local government areas, had finished voting. So worst case scenario, by 9 o'clock the next morning, on 10 o'clock the next morning, the results would have been. For it to have dragged into the night tells you what they were doing, because they had to rework all of those results inside that place and barricaded the place. Was it a war? Barricaded it so much and were preventing anything they suspect, whether they know you are people or not. Once they suspect that you are, they know those who are the team. While you are not part of that team, you don't enter into it. Then the soldiers formed the formation, pointing guns like this at those Nigerian citizens.
Now, Chris, Governor Basiki considered defeat. Looks like chances of going to court is slim. Is there a chance, and what do you think needs to change for the sake of future elections in this country?
With due respect to the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, he needs to convince Nigerians that he's the Democrat that he touts. We shouldn't hear statements like federal might, I will give so-so states to you. That's number one. Number two, those who are friends of the president, like Comrade Adams Oshomole, the president needs to check them and the activities and undue influence in their various states where they are. Number three, INEC needs to look inward. The INEC leadership, I'm speaking of the chairman now, and the top recs there in Abuja, may not have had a hand in this. But you have a rec, a resident electoral commissioner, who is a blood relation to Wike, who has shown overt and covert interests in the Edo election. And yet, when institutional processes was followed that should have addressed that, nobody did anything about it. So Nigerians themselves also don't push enough, because if they followed me and followed my position, there was no reason why we should have allowed that man to stay. But they were ready for us to do anything outside the democratic process, and then they would use that reason then. So it would have made things easier for them. So, and that's why I submitted my petition. So we have a big problem in Nigeria. I'm very happy with the observers who came. They were very objective. We need such voices, more of such voices, to continue to speak against what is happening. If not, what this thing will snowball into in this country is yet to be seen. We cannot have such a culture where if you have executive powers, then election should be taken for granted as belonging to your party, because it will. 7 APC governors came to make their residence here, including Hope Uzodinma, whose name has become synonymous with all forms of election practices and infractions committed by the APC. So we don't feel a sense of loss. You can see how I'm smiling. We feel a sense of victory. We feel that they should be ashamed of themselves. We feel that the INEC has not redeemed its battered reputation that it got from the 2023 election. And that's a big shame to that institution. We feel that the APC people here in the state and the Shomole should all be ashamed. I mean, look at the television and see when it was announced. Their rejoicing was a facade. I mean, there was no inner joy. But here, we feel a sense of honor, because why we are so happy that we voted, and in all the units, we have the results. Especially in Edo South here, where all the protests started, that's why we won all the local governments in Edo South with large margins. There are places where you have 300 to about 13 votes. But when they entered into the final collation center, where they had the institution, they manipulated everything and brought out results that were not. Just look at the example I gave about 150, 52 registered voters, and you are paying 2,000 for just one party. So all of these things must be noted, and Nigerians must speak up and continue to speak up against all this kind of executive recklessness.
Once again, thank you so much, Chris, for being with us on Politics Now.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me here.
Well, do stay with us as we go on a short break, and when we come back, we will be speaking to Ambassador Austin Osage, member of Progressive Congress APC, political analyst. He'll be live with us here in the studios. Do stay with us. We'll be right back.
What makes the political system what it is today? What are the recurring issues?
Order, order.
the tussle for power,
An extremely problematic area.
the tension, the instability of the system. Join Ellen 24/7 as we take you inside the local and international political arena in the world of politics.
Apologize for saying that I was corrupt.
I'm not here to call out his lies. Everybody knows he's a liar.
Watch politics now on Ellen 24/7.
Don't miss Politics Now on LN 24/7.
Hello and welcome back to Politics Now, and we're still on the conversation of the just concluded Edo State Governorship election. And joining us live on set is Ambassador Austin Osage, a public affairs analyst and a UN ambassador, and also a citizen of Edo State. Good to have you with us, Ambassador.
Thank you for having me.
I must say congratulations to you. Your party, the All Progressive Congress, won the election. I mean, a landslide victory for your party. How does that come to you, knowing fully well that the PDP has governed the state for the past 8 years? And we've been talking, and I've also been speaking to some other people from the state, and just the outcry over infrastructural development in the state, which I have spoken to the spokesperson of the governor, and he always counters all those allegations of development in the state. So how does this news come to you?
Well, as I said, it's not shocking. 2 days ago I was here, and we had a very extensive discussion, and I told you, and the next time I will come, which is today, I'm going to be telling you congratulations, and which you did, and your other colleague. It's not anybody that is following Edo election will know that it's not a surprise thing. It's not a surprise. I'm even surprised that even PDP got those numbers they got. Because if it's for Obaseki, that we know, that many people know in Benin or Edo State generally, Obaseki is supposed to get less than, with his candidate, supposed to get less than 100,000 votes. So I'm surprised they even got 200,000 votes. So the surprise I got there is that I was not surprised because I've told you and our other sister station that it's going to be a landslide victory, which goes that way. But anybody that is going to be in Edo, you know that this election was just the opinion and the wishes of people. That is a fact. So, but getting that number they even got shows that people still have a little pity for them. Let me give you what I'm saying. Just some days ago, less than a week, there was a rain in front of the government house, close to a barrack. There's a barrack along that road, that same place. You can't pass there. This is I know, and don't say, because most people said 8 years. Obaseki he came 4 years ago as a PDP, not 8 years of PDP. It was 4 years of APC and 4 years of PDP. He came as a failure as a PDP, not as APC. When he was in APC, that was why they gave it the mandate, probably thinking that, with his investment portfolio, all this fake investment portfolio.
Yes, he was in the APC. Yes. There was a clear agenda for what he was supposed to do for the state.
There was a clear agenda of where he's supposed to start from, where Comrade Adam Osomole left, which probably deviates. So people gave him the mandate when they perceive that probably he has an idea of what to do. That probably maybe the Comrade was disturbing him then. That was why you see massively he got. And tell me today, this is I continue telling people, and when somebody, probably you are not from the state or you are not a political watcher or follower, trying to tell me how Obaseki is going to win. How? Today, look at the people that supported him 4 years ago. How many of them are with him today? And the idea of probably people thinking that maybe Obaseki will have I'm surprised. Today, this is a governor that is even fighting our revered, most respectable monarch in Nigeria today.
I saw the clip of the Oba of Benin dancing and celebrating Monday's victory.
See, if you see Benin, let me say Edo State General, not even Benin alone, we don't play with our Oba. Because we see this, because I don't take today, generally, anywhere you are from, we don't play with tradition. We see tradition as part of us. So the man that is in custodian of that tradition, which is your opinion, we don't, whoever you are, we have Rema, we have, okay, imagine, do you know how much is spent on bringing the Rema from US to come and play, to come and do a concert of what, where people are dying, people are go and see gully erosion almost everywhere. So today, I'm surprised that people even with that kind of a, I don't want to use some word, but with that kind of person and his handlers or the person that is bringing that probably they are this investment portfolio, this audio portfolio investors, they are coming together. They even go raggan of 200,000 votes. Because to me, if you ask me, and I've expressed my view, my opinion here, the election in Edo, a part of being APC issue, is a vote for the candidates.
All right, now let's get to the issues. Several allegations of intent to manufacture votes and to influence the election. And of course, the deployment of security officers was also a key issue for the PDP. The INEC Rec commissioner, being a relative of the minister of the FCT, was also an issue. Then also the issue of the training video of President Bola Tinubu, saying that he would deliver back the Edo State to APC party. So there was this unquote question of the use of federal might, which the PDP is now using to cry out foul, that INEC connived with the security officers to ensure that APC won the state. There's another talking point from the PDP about the IREV, that at the point the PDP were leading on the portal of the IREV, but later something happened, the IREV was not working, and then the results started changing in favor of the APC. You monitor the elections closely, and also the reports of civil society organizations, the likes of Yaga Africa, has also corroborated some of the concerns that the PDP have raised about this election. So how do you respond to that in terms of the issue of fairness? Because you are even saying you're shocked that PDP garnered over 200,000 votes.
Let me start from there. Even the PDP agent that was raising this issue, he was not sincere. I think his name is Tony. I don't know. He was not sincere with what he was saying. Because if you watch that thing clearly yesterday, where they won, he applauded. Where they won, anywhere they won, he never raised up his hand to any objection. He was very okay with it. And it's only people that are not politicians that are more concerned about how probably politician knows. For them to send him to be the party agent at the coalition center shows that they actually know what he can do, how destructive it can be. That was why they sent it. Just like when they sent Dino Milaya and Erubebe of those days to, you can imagine Dino Milaya last year election, he actually want to burn Erubebe in 2015, want to burn down the INEC headquarters. The same thing Dino Milaya last year, the same thing they send, the PDP send this, their agent there. Because if you look at it, if you want to be objective, I was expecting him yesterday, even where APC won, where APC lost to them, he should be able to raise. He couldn't raise the office, and if you go and watch that clip, he didn't raise. Anywhere you see APC won, he has an objection. And what is his objection? His objection was probably the antis, probably designed in their own strategic way, probably to come on. And those things is gone at those days. I'm not telling you here that probably maybe everybody is a saint. No. The idea is this.
In other words, you agree that APC in some form
not APC,
rigged the election.
They never rigged.
No, you're speaking for your party, APC. If I'm speaking to the PDP candidate, a PDP member, I will take him up. I'm taking you up now as a member of the APC.
The election was...
There was no ploy at any time to interfere the election.
It's not possible.
In favor of your party.
It's not possible because they are agents of other party there. Election is not something that probably is only... Okay,
now, one of the allegations of the PDP member, of the PDP spokesman, was the issue of their party agents not being allowed to enter the collation centers.
It's not possible. It's never possible. The Labour Party Did the Labour Party make that allegation? See, in Nigeria, obviously, for obvious reason, it's always more or less like that. Go to Ondo next month, almost like that. Because the reason is this: nobody wants to concede defeat. And 2 days ago, I was saying this on this program that whether you like it or not, where Nigeria won, even when they know they didn't win, they applaud INEC, they applaud police, they applaud the judiciary. Go and see the same person, let's say lost that same.
But Ambassador Austin, it's not about winning.
No,
it's about the concerns raised.
No,
because it's not just PDP that is raising these points.
My point
even civil society organizations are.
If you look at Yaga, you are saying, when I was listening to Itodo yesterday, he was very objective in selecting the kind of word he used. With them, he said some of the area they were actually on grind. They discovered that both parties, both the two leading parties, both the PDP and the APC are trying to induce. See, those one, when you say they are trying to, that's their own report. According to them, that they are coming up with their report this today, and maybe before the end of today. That is to them. But what I'm trying to say is simple. You can't want to erect a building when there was no foundation, and probably you just want to put blocks together. No matter how fancy it look like, it's going to destroy. As it stands,
you're referring to Obaseki. So what happened to the foundation? What were some of the key things that you think led him to this defeat?
If you look at them, they are never prepared for this election. You have 11 candidates contesting for that primary election. The 10 of them, at least at bad at it, the 10 of them, 10 of that party, 10 of that candidate, they left to APC. You couldn't manage at least 11. You have 11, including your own anointed candidate. 11 of them contested that primary election. 10 of them out of that 11, they left to another party. That is one. Two, he's a sitting governor as a last year. As a sitting governor, he was not having any election to disrupt him or to disturb him of probably not concentrating. He was concentrating. For you to know how destructive he is, what he did was that he was basically not concerned about probably something that is of not much interest to him. Forgetting that he has an election this year. As a last year, if you see what he was trying to do, he was trying by all means to see how he can probably push some people away. For instance, how can you tell me that a sitting governor, person representing in House of Representatives, is another party, is the Labour Party? That same election last year, despite the Labour Party activities and all that, APC got 2 senators out of 3 senators the same day with the president. And APC got 7 House of Rep members, 7 out of 9. They got 7 out of 9 House of Rep members that same day of that presidential election. That Tinubu came distant second. That will be won the election. And him couldn't win anything. He couldn't win a senator, he couldn't win a rep. And you tell me today, he didn't only came third. He came a very distant third in a sitting election that you are the governor of the state as a PDP governor. Doesn't make any sense to anybody. And that kind of person, you now expect him, a miracle will not happen within that short time. Probably to, even what I say I'm surprised that even those ones they got, I'm sure there was a lot of inducement and all that. And if you ask their party member, some of them are waiting for the diamond, and I'm sure it disappointed them because he couldn't mobilize them. Some of them are even hungry and all that. I said it's one of these programs that when we were discussing about minimum wage during the labor issues and all that. I said it was just a misplace of priority, strategic priority, because I couldn't imagine it just came up some months ago.
That Obaseki should implement 70,000 naira for workers.
I told you, if you actually meant good for Edo people, when it was 4 years ago, why can't he implement that same money? Probably just to shoot it. So he was thinking probably, and again, look at it.
You see, Ambassador, you're thinking politics in the midst of economic hardship. I know that's a different issue, so I'll allow you to finish your thoughts.
What we're actually discussing, the question you asked me, what we're actually discussing was politics. If you're asking me about the economic policies and all that.
No, I just wanted to state that because some people might take offense from that.
No, see, the issue is this. We are discussing Edo politics. We are not discussing Edo economic issues. We are discussing whoever that
is still part of the economy.
Whoever that is listening to us now, this is aftermath of the election.
Yeah.
We are discussing of what actually played out. Why this person lost? Why do you think this is our basic discussion here? So what I'm trying to say, as an indigenous of Edo, as a Benin man, you can't just come whoever you are, even including me tomorrow, if I become a governor, I can't just see some structure, traditional structure on ground. And I think probably because one thing you have to know, and I said it 2 days ago, that power is transient. No matter who you are, there will be a daybreak, there will be afternoon, anyhow you want to see it. So mind you that, and that was why you see he was a little bit smart too, but not very smart. A little bit smart. That he quickly came outside and accepted defeat. That probably okay. Who are you telling them to come? Who want to fight? Everybody were dancing. People were dancing. You are coming and say you want people to come. People to come where? Come where? He said he wants people to come. He wants them. Which come where? Who will fight? Who wants to go and fight? So if you look at the state, what should be? I think what you asked me is that what's my concern about the turnout of the voters? I was not impressed because last year was 34%. Last election was 34%. What this year was 24%.
I didn't ask you that question because you are a member of the APC, so I wanted to take you on the issues of politics because your party won. That's the most important thing.
We say the party work hard and.
Okay, so your basic takeout from this election is the fact that, we're talking politics and there has to be structures, just like we were talking about why a lot of people don't really understand some of the positions that Wike has taken since his fallout with Atiku Abubakar. So in that same light, you're trying to say that was some of the issues, just like Atiku Abubakar had, is the same kind of issues that Obaseki, had in the party, that he had a fallout with his deputy governor, Philip Shuaibu, that also led to the campaign to the APC. Do you think that also contributed in boosting the votes for the APC?
Yes, a part of him being there is Obaseki being underperformed as a governor. The biggest challenge or the LDK he has was he was not able to manage the party already in disarray, because if you look at the party is even for him. Even when you see when they went to Edo, they couldn't even, if it's a party that probably have a structure, as he was taking them to Chief Igbenedion to go and pay homage to him, they would have told him that no, please, let's go and see the Oba. He refused to take them to Oba, of which among them that came, who will go to their states. Let's use Atiku that went there. That you go to Adamawa today as a politician, you would not want to go and see the Lamido of Adamawa. Abi the Damagun, but if you look at Damagun's statement and the rest, they were very careful too. They were very careful because he was one of the people that was even working against the Damagun for Damagun to be removed as the acting national chairman by all means.
And he still supported him during this election.
No, not if you are the one, that is where the politics played out. He was one of the people that was even frustrating Wike, telling people that the people should be where Wike was telling them, you people should be the one to be disciplined. Like Wike was one that admitted him into the party. The same him was because he was a governor with Dili and running up and down that Wike should be expelled, Wike should be disciplined, Wike should be done. The idea is simple, and I continue telling people today. The party was not even ready to go into election. Because what I expect the party to do, immediately after the primary election, the party would have called everybody together and say, come, gentlemen and ladies, we know we have a challenge. Please, let us win this election. And give them the reason why they need to vote for a candidate. That is within the party. You couldn't do that. Look at it.
And that should have been done before
that was last year.
Before Saturday's election.
The actual people that brought him into the limelight was the Legacy Party, led by Chief Dan Obi. What they did was that immediately he won the second term, he wants to say how he can. See, one thing in life people don't know. It's not the election of Nigeria. It's not being discussed on social media. It's not being discussed on phone.
Because that's one issue they've taken up with the APC candidate about his inability to appear for interviews and for people to actually hear from him, which you say is not a factor.
No, it's not a factor. You know what I mean? The time they asked the APC candidate, he justified his own reason of. He said most time they booked him for interview, probably in the evening or in the night or in Lagos. Imagine somebody that is a senator representing his people in Edo already, and he's an home-based guy. So he said most time they book appointment with him to come. He's at home discussing with his people. He might have a meeting and all that. Okay, he's telling somebody just to leave Benin and be coming to Lagos to your studio to come and do. And again, they are saying they want. He now asks them, if you actually want to see me, are you not coming to my rally? Many of your TV stations are in my rally live because we paid for that. Many of you have interviewed. What other interview do you want me to do? You know, because Arise TV that is even championing that you come to their studio, they have been on ground in the campaign, and some of their own reporters who have discussed with him. He said for him, he can leave Edo, where he know that these are the people, these are the villagers, mama, my mom, my dad, people that I believe he wants to talk to, and leave them and probably come to Lagos on studio and be dancing or speaking English. And most time I'll just tell people today, people that speak English too much, they don't make good leadership. So whether you like it or not, Nigeria today is local. Our politics is local. If you like, speak English from morning to night.
I understand your point, but I would have to disagree with you, because for a democracy to develop, there has to be an order of things, in the sense that you are a candidate and you want people to vote for you. It's just about, it's an issue of trust. It's not about fluency. You look at global leaders, would you say Trump is an effective communicator? I feel that it has to do with openness and the fact that just say what you want to do. It's not how you say what you want to do. It's what you say that it's very, very important. But time will not allow us to go further. But congratulations to the APC, your party. So those citizens are expectant of what this administration is going to do, and hopefully for the sake of the people that voted, because I mean, you were talking about voter turnout. We had over 2 million plus that were registered to vote, and then the total votes together is not even up to 1 million. So that says a lot also. But thank you so much, Ambassador Austin Asage, for your time on the show.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for congratulating me very well. So when next I come again, I think, see, the idea is that I love what actually happened. What happened in Edo was that the Edo people actually choose who their leaders are.
But some will disagree with you on that.
Well, that one,
and that's fine.
That one is fine, because we are in democracy. You can't always have it. So some will like you, some wait.
All right. Well, there you have it. That's our show for tonight. Do stick with us Mondays, Fridays, and Wednesdays, of course, for Politics Now. Once again, my name is Mono Balagwego. Thank you for watching.